What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back to you guys with another banger. So, in today's video, man, we will be breaking down the playoff series matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Now, this should be a pretty easy breakdown, and I'm pretty sure y'all already know what I'm thinking. But before we do get into that, man, let's switch off of basketball for a minute. Did y'all watch that boxing fight last night? Haney versus Garcia. Man, if that wasn't the biggest upset in boxing this year, I don't know what is, man. That shit was crazy. But hey, let's switch back to boxing and let's take a look at these two teams. Alright, so we switched over, as you guys can see, and as you guys know, I do like to bring up the playoff bracket just so that we could get a better understanding of where these two teams stand. So at number 1, we got the Celtics. They were the number 1 seed, and the number 8 seed was the Miami Heat, as we can see. Now, let's take a look at the Boston Celtics regular season matchups between the Miami Heat so that we can see how these two teams fared against each other during the regular season. So, we start off with the first game against Miami. It was 119 to 111. They got the dub. So, currently they're 1-0 against that Miami Heat team. Let's keep scrolling down until we find the second game between the two teams. Alright, so we found the second game. It looks like they got another dub. This was actually a blowout, 143 to 110. So they're currently 2-0 against the Miami Heat. We see a third game right here, 110 to 106. And they're currently 3-0 against the Miami Heat. Let's see if they had any other games. It doesn't look like it. So currently they were 3-0 against Miami Heat. Now let's just take a look at the injury report to see if there will be any injuries coming into this game 1. So we got the injury report right here, and it looks like the only player out is Luke Cornett. So I don't think him being out will affect this team too much. Let's take a look at Miami's injury report. As you guys can see, it looks like Duncan Robinson is day-to-day. He may or may not play in this first game. Terry Rozier is out. Jimmy Butler is out. And Josh Richardson is out. So, with all that being said, let's switch over and let's take a look at the Boston Celtics stats for this year. So, as you guys can see, the Boston Celtics for this year, they were number 2 in points per game. When it comes to their offensive rating, they were first in the league. So they had the number 1 offense in the league, which is great. Also, when it comes to opponents' points per game, they were 5th. So they do hold opposing teams to a low amount of points. And when it comes to their defensive rating, they were 3rd in the league. So overall, they have a top 5 offense and defense, which is amazing. And if you didn't understand right now, then you need to understand that this team is a juggernaut, man. This team is definitely a juggernaut. And when you just look at their team stats, you see top 10 numbers all throughout the list, man. You got top 10 when it comes to field goal percentage, field goal attempts. When it comes to three-point attempts, they're at number 1. Three-point percentage, they're at number 2. So they're deadly from the 3. They shoot a lot of threes and they make a lot of threes. Also, when it comes to two-point percentage, they're 2nd in the league. So they are pretty efficient in the paint as well. So that's definitely good. Even when it comes to free throw percentage, they're 7th. So overall, they're just solid, man. When it comes to blocks per game, they're number 1. When it comes to turnovers per game, they're number 1. So what that means is that they give up the least amount of turnovers. So overall, this team, like I said before, is a juggernaut, man. They're a juggernaut. Let's take a look at the players. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two players that can make their own shot, two players that will be very hard to defend. Also on the defensive end, they're not slouches on that side. Jason Tatum, pretty long, pretty athletic, same with Jaylen Brown. And then one thing to note is that they're both big, they're both kind of muscular, so they have some size to them as well. I say the player that really holds down the defense, Kristaps Porzingis, as you guys can see, when it comes to blocks, 1.2 blocks, but I think he really deters a lot of defenses from going into the paint just off his length. Also, Kristaps Porzingis spaces the floor very well, man. As you guys can see, 37% on 5 attempts from 3, so just good, man, just good. This team is just stacked. What else can I say? Of course, you got Jrue Holiday and Derek White, also great defenders. And one thing you do note is that this team, just overall, they have great defenders at every position. Jason Tatum, great defender. Jaylen Brown, great defender. Jrue Holiday, great defender. At the point guard, Derek White, great defender. Kristaps Porzingis, a great defender. So overall, I think it's going to be hard for a team like Miami to really beat this Boston Celtics team. Even on the bench, you got Al Horford, who is getting up there in age at 37, but still is a very smart player. He has a pretty high IQ when it comes to switching and just being at the right place at the right time. So that's something to note. Also, he's shooting the ball well from 3 at 41%. Peyton Pritchard, he a smaller guard, but he could definitely shoot the ball very well at 38% from 3, and he pretty good as well. But let's switch over to Miami. We already kind of did a breakdown on Miami on a previous video, but if you didn't watch that video, I'm here for you guys to get a better understanding of what Miami does if you didn't watch the previous Miami Heat breakdown. So Miami, when it comes to points per game, they're 26 out of 30. When it comes to offensive rating, they are 21st out of 30. When it comes to their opponent's points per game, they are 3rd out of 30. And when it comes to their defensive rating, they're 5th out of 30. So they got a top 5 defense, but when it comes to the offense, that's where there's a lack. Also, you guys seen that injury report. So, they're really not going to be at their full potential, to be honest. And that's why I think this may actually be a quick night, but I ain't about to give my predictions just yet. When it comes to the team stats, you don't really see anything that really sticks out. The only thing that really sticks out is just their turnovers. They're 6th in turnovers, so they don't really turn over the ball that much. Other than that, nothing else really sticks out that you would really, bat an eye about. Now, this matchup is going to live and die off of Tyler Hero, in my opinion. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, they're the two most important players. Tyler Hero, you gotta take the lead when it comes to scoring, man, because you don't got Jimmy Butler, you don't got Terry Rozier, you may not have Duncan Robinson, so they're just in a tough position. Also with Bam, you want him to step up the scoring because, like I was saying, this team, they don't score a lot. So, the players that didn't really score that much have to step up. He's scoring 19 points per game right now. I need that at 25 in the playoffs. I'm just gonna keep it real. Also, it's gonna be hard on him defensively because he more than likely won't even be in the paint because you got Kristaps Porzingis, who's 7'2" or 7'3" shooting threes, so he won't really be able to make too much of an impact in the paint as well. So it's definitely just going to be a hard matchup for Bam Adebayo and just the bigs in general on this team. And with that being said, for my breakdown, I do have the Boston Celtics sweeping the Miami Heat. I just think that, At this point, Miami, they aren't healthy. As you guys can see, they don't even have their best player, Jimmy Butler. And this Boston Celtics team, they're a well-oiled machine, man. They damn near don't have any flaws. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a quick series. I got Boston in 4. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.